Missiles can use all or multiple of these warhead types, and these insane apes have figured out how to combine some of these warheads. A nuclear ion torpedo, for example. It impacts, disabling shields, overloading them. Then milliseconds later, blows you the heck up with a nuclear bomb. A so-called heat or high-explosive anti-tank warhead will hit a target with force and use explosive force to send a kinetic projectile into a target. Something that was incredibly efficient. You get the idea. Why is this relevant? Simple. Industry. How, you ask? The galaxy at large favors quality and durability above quantity, almost in every metric. Starships and the fleets, systems and logistics are expensive and difficult to do, especially on a large scale. Ship fleets in the galaxy average a number of 100 or so for small empires and defense fleets, while larger empires can field fleets of over 1,000. Depending on size, let us use the standard battleship as a baseline, that it takes 6 months from start to finish, excluding resource collection and refining, to build one mid-range battleship-class vessel. Now human warships are twice the galactic average as previously stated, so human battleships in their own terms require twice the resources to complete. Our ships are custom-made to a standard template in accordance with hull design and basic operations. But that is where the similarities end. Part of design principle is to have a standard outer shell design, fitting with the aesthetic and functionality, as well as size. When a ship is commissioned for construction, the design goes over several manufacturers until the council finds the one they prefer. The interiors are always different, in order to make sure that any attempts at boarding action will never be the same. It's also a matter of weapons, propulsion, and shields. Ships will modify their interiors based on the systems mounted to the hull. A bigger main cannon will result in the interior shifting to accommodate larger propulsion, more cannons, more access, larger reactor, more shielding arrays, etc. You get the basic principle. Humans don't follow this principle at all. They have a system of standardization, of course, but it's a lot simpler. It takes us 6 human months to build one battleship-class warship, on average. Equivalent starship sizes, in terms of the galactic average, the closest warship to human battleships is one of their patrol cruisers. It takes them only 2 days to build one of these ships. I will say again. It takes us 6 months to build one battleship. It takes them 2 days to build one ship of equivalent size. You may stop reading in order to remove your freshly dislocated jaw, or its anatomical equivalent, from the floor. Humanity has the advantage over the entire galaxy due to this one simple factor. It's not that they have missiles that have the edge over us. It's the fact they can manufacture millions of missiles and the ships that use them in short order. That missile cruiser I told you about? It was a small variant used for colony defense by locals. It carries a payload of 15,000 missiles. It only used a volley of 800 to defeat the largest pirate force in the galaxy. It probably only needed to launch half of that to fight. Humans have since tripled the size of their effective fleet strength since the first incident with the Skakandi, fearing further entanglements from the galaxy's denizens. The Skakandi attack was 3 months prior to the publishing of this piece. In 3 months of us sitting on our asses trying to figure out what happened, humanity has officially announced that their entire military now actively outnumbers the galaxy at large 2 to 1. This means that in the time it took you to receive and read this missive, humanity has built 15 times more ships than we have in the last 20 galactic standard years. I found out how and why. Humans, as stated, have no chill. This means that they are from a high-grade death world. This is pretty obvious, as most species in the galaxy are. They have an obsession with logistics and production. Their mining ships gather resources at twice the rate, often using highly risky methodologies that we have long since abandoned due to safety concerns. Humans have all but perfected these methods. Human star systems are not as well populated as it seems, because some of the lesser worlds are systematically strip-mined to the core for resources, then shipped in some of the most advanced logistics systems seen in galactic history. Dedicated cargo ships, operating in specialized slipgates, that allow these ships to pass through slipspace from one point to another instantly. We all know the slipspace system, but humans industrialized it to an absurd degree. Their gates can allow any fleet of any size to simply wander through, crossing half the galaxy in mere seconds. Then there are the so-called forge worlds. Entire planets dedicated to the processing and distribution of these resources. These forge worlds are entire planets that have been converted into enormous factories, industrial production facilities, and manufacturing hubs. Each one a true marvel of engineering in their own right. Our ships have resources delivered to shipyards. Then a skilled team of artisans, craftsmen, smiths, and engineers manufacture everything on site. With humans, their ships are built via the process of logistics. Parts, pieces, and components are all built according to a standardization template. These parts are then loaded and shipped to shipyards orbiting forge worlds. Then these parts are assembled on a factory line. In a tenth of the time and effort it takes us, despite the fact humans use about as much automation as we do. What does this mean for us, though? It means that they have the economic industrial manufacturing capacity to outpace the entire galaxy while maintaining a reasonable quality of product, which means they can easily bankrupt us if they find out by flooding the market with cheap but still decent goods. It means if we try to engage them in warfare, not only do they outrange us and outgun us, and they can replace any losses tenfold in a tenth of the time. The tech they have for warfare baffles strategists. And even if we manage to get in range, we will win the battle, but with catastrophic losses. Which means that fighting them in almost any engagement will be a waste of time, resources, and most importantly, manpower. It means that if one of us gets to humans first, they now have a distinct advantage over anyone and everyone else. Humans are desperate for an ally in the galaxy, or a friend. Anyone who takes advantage of this fact will gain direct access to their industry and military. This will leave this empire to weave whatever narrative they want to convince humanity that their empire needs to expand. And those who aren't allies will be the targets. In short, humanity is poised to become the central point in galactic politics, has the ability to bankrupt us, in a matter of months can outnumber us 100 to 1, outclasses us 50 to 1, and can field the largest navy ever assembled in known history in a matter of a few years if sufficiently provoked. Humanity presently represents an existential threat that we can't fight against. One we can't even hope to beat in any straight engagement or battle. Even if we send every ship that exists against them at once. We may win the war and wipe them out with decent enough leadership, but our losses would be far greater than any potential gain for it. Their weapons can engage at far greater range than we can. And even if this range advantage wasn't a factor, they have the industrial capacity to manufacture enough of these weapons to make us suffer disastrous losses in any battle. If the range and number were not a factor, we might have stood a chance. Were it not for their strange obsession with mixing and creating new weapon types, with these weapon types alone, they can match us without the numbers on any battlefield. And this is calculated using only our strategies and tactics, as we do not know how they fight in a real conflict. It is therefore my request to any and all who read this missive. Humanity is the future of the galaxy. If you don't side with them, you will be left behind. Make friends with them. Make trades with them. But if you will do anything, do not piss them off. Regards, Corax Lorthrak, of Clan Ulm Takar Imperium, newly made vassal state of the Terran Confederacy.